Hello. Today I decided that, I already reacted to her vlog and now she's got this new schedule. And I'm ahead of myself here. What in the hell am I doing? How are you guys? I do this all the time. It's me, Babygurl. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here to watch the girl with me because she's got a bone to pick with someone in this video. Apparently, she decided to react to a video made about her by another reaction channel, the Salty Crab, in fact. I was really getting into her content, but then she kind of started to aggravate me with the constant, belittling, okay. I understand that Amberlynn is known to lie, and she used to lie in her 20s. There's a lot of people that did things in their 20s, though, that they just aren't going to do in their 30s and 40s and so on and so forth. And I just believe that, as I don't have anything against her exes making content and stuff like that. They have every right to tell their experience. I don't think that it's really up to us to constantly tell her that she's a liar unless we ourselves have definitive proof to say otherwise. You know what I mean? Or to shame her on any mental health issues, cancer issues, which is what actually this video happens to be about. So, you know that I take a different approach with Amberlynn. I want to be a reaction channel. Of course, I like her content, okay? And that's why I react to it, because I have a lot in common actually with Amberlynn. I appreciate her content. I watch it because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that I enjoy every bit of it, but I'm just saying... I'm not saying that I enjoy the gaslighting that she might do here and there, or the lying that she did. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying that I give her the benefit of the doubt because I have so much in common with her, and I can kind of understand her in a lot of different ways because I have BPD. I have a lot of the same issues too that she does. It's just, I just have a sympathy for her, and I want to be like a big sister. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody has to be so hateful on the internet. So, you can be in a reaction channel without having to be like that. So, let's get to the video. What do you say, assholes?
Okay, guys, so I actually just got out of the shower, and I wasn't going to do this. This was not going to be something that I was going to do. And now that I have, a whole YouTube schedule going, I don't know where this would fit in my schedule, and I want to get this out, now. So I don't normally do reactions to reaction channels, but I feel like I'm done, zipping my lip, And when it comes to this topic, it's near and dear to me, obviously. I had cancer. It was traumatizing. I genuinely thought I was going to die. I had to do invasive surgery at over 500 pounds because of my cancer. But for another YouTuber to create a nickname, Raglan Bleed, well, already they're hypocritical, they're biased. I have made it very clear on my Instagram that is fucked up. I've also made it very clear during public live streams and during my members-only live streams. And this YouTuber just keeps going back and forth with me, trying to, twist the narrative of why they, named me Raglan Bleed when it's very obvious why they did it, and they're trying so hard to turn it into an okay nickname. So my friend sent me this message that you were seeing here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna react to this first 5 minutes because I want to know what they say. So let's do it. I want to be able to respond. By the way, this YouTuber does not show their face because they're too scared. So all you need to hear is their voice. Let's do it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. And before we get started today, I just want to talk a little bit about what happened last night, or should I say very early this morning. If you missed it, Amberlynn went live for about an hour and a half, and it was pretty much just a part two.
Amberlynn is mad.
Stream she did, because it was almost exactly the same thing. She was, in my opinion, very manic. She was crying.
Okay, so mental health shaming.
1 second laughing, the next second acting very just above it all.
I'm telling you, my moods genuinely are bouncing back and forth. 1 minute I am crying, 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm doing both at the same time. 1 minute I feel despair, 1 minute I feel hopeful. It is what it is. That's where I'm currently at right now with my mental health.
Still.
Amberlynn, now you keep doing this, and I'm very sorry, but you'll ruin your whole YouTube channel if you keep responding to the hate, because then people are going to just come to the channel for that. And the next thing you know, I believe that's why your channel got to be so full of hate, is because you respond to it. And therefore, these people come and hate on you because they know that. You know what I mean? So maybe you should just like be just a little bit more wise to that and just respond to the people that support you, that are here for you, because we are the ones that deserve your response. You know what I'm saying?
Having to get digs in on people. Most of the things that she said was just her repeating what she said in the member stream. In my opinion,
A lot of people don't get to see, so I'm glad that I had that public live stream for people, because some people can't pay for my members only.
Thank you, Amberlynn.
She did the stream because she kind of wanted to get the attention off of Beck and Destiny's video from.
Definitely not. Beck and Destiny's video genuinely sucked. Like, okay, screenshots from 9 years ago. I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry I was desperate for attention.
Right.
Yesterday, she wanted to make everybody talk about her and what happened in the live stream, but honestly, like I said, it was just a repeat of the other night. Nothing really.
And yet you watched it, didn't you?
New came out of the stream. And
Smug.
I didn't cover it because as I was watching it, nothing really stood out to me. She was mostly just reading the nice comments people were leaving.
I think I know why they're actually talking about this, because in that live stream, I straight up asked Salty Crab a question, and I think they might be answering it right now. So I'm actually glad that I'm reacting to this. So let's hear the answer.
She was ranting about everybody who she doesn't like, crying over, like, girl, we saw it all before, and it was more entertaining in the member stream. But I do want to address one thing, and like I said before, I'm not going to do a back and forth with Amberlynn.
But yet you are.
There's really no point to it. There's nothing.
But yet you are.
Yeah, I can say to her that's going to make
she's
her
mad.
All of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize.
Because you're not.
Hold on. Or just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize to anyone.
Honey buns, why would I apologize to you? Like, there's nothing to apologize to you for.
She's going to think she's right about everything until the end of
I'm not right about everything at all.
Time. Even the things that she admits she did wrong, she has a reason for or an excuse. And it's usually blaming some.
I bet you're not perfect at all. I bet you made your fair.
You know, Amberlynn, this is exactly what I'm saying. I just don't want to see you make the same mistake. Now, don't get mad at me for saying this, but I don't want to see you make the same mistake as Shrimpgate, where you lost like 12,000, you said. So I just would hate to see that happen to you. So I want you to just be mindful about you constantly responding to hatred on the internet. Because people are going to say what they're going to say, Amberlynn, and you're not going to be able to control them. You know, you need to find your tribe, your vibe, and your people by solely focusing on healing yourself, being better for the internet in that way by becoming healed, you know, but then also focusing on the people that love you. And then those people are going to be the ones that gravitate to your channel. You know what I'm saying? The haters won't come because they're going to be like, well, she doesn't even react or respond. They won't have the reason to. The reason they do is for this. You know what I mean? Granted, her saying anything about you having cancer or making fun of it in any way, shape, or form is not okay. And I don't agree with it at all.
Share of mistakes. So it's like these people who want to like point their finger and be like, you're not perfect. Well, bro, you have several fingers pointed back at you.
Right.
Because neither are you.
Someone else or her BPD. But she did.
Oh, do you hear the mocking of her BPD? More mental health training. Like,
BPD is just not understood as well as it should be, Amberlynn. And a lot of times people like to be like, well, why don't you just get on medication? Well, medication only helps some of the symptoms. It's not a chemical imbalance. It's based on trauma. And whatever trauma you went through, how it affected you is how your BPD will ultimately be. Now, you had a lot of abandonment issues, so of course you're going to have that issue. And those things are very, very hard to work through, especially when you're young. So that's why I feel like a lot of people need to stop being so hateful on you about your 20s and stuff like that. Not to say that you should be able to just use BPD as an excuse, but at the same time, it kind of is.
When does it end?
Ask me personally to tell her why in my video from almost a week ago, Amber, like you're still going on about it, but
and you still go on about things that happened years and years ago, just because you
years ago, yeah.
Based on talking about me. So yeah, I'm going to talk about something that happened a week ago that genuinely hurt my feelings, and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, making a joke out of my cancer is not okay.
She wanted me to talk about or tell her.
How is that? I was thinking about how that name would be brought up in making fun of your cancer. I'm not saying it's not. I just don't. Maybe I should listen on. Maybe I should just shut up.
Why I called the character Raglan Bleed. Why did I use the word bleed? First of all, it was a stupid joke.
It's not a stupid joke. So if you say something that offends someone and it genuinely hurts their feelings, you apologize, right? Isn't that what you're
Exactly.
your audience?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do it then. Or do you have too much ego, too much pride, afraid your audience
Supposedly, Amberlynn.
Not a silly joke.
With your last name, so we use the word.
There's a lot of words that rhyme with breed. I mean, I can think of one right now. Feed. That'd be a lot more funnier than bleed.
But also,
Amberlynn.
Yes, it was.
Much as you try and say that it was, what it was really about was your laziness. The fact that you
It had
made
to.
the choice to not seek medical treatment when you knew that you should.
So, first of all, one of the very
Okay,
first things that I did when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I was told to do this, was join forums of other people who have the same cancer as me. And in doing that, I realized we all have one thing in common. 95% of us waited and waited and waited. We had these symptoms, and we just waited months.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, that's the thing. That's so true. You know what I mean? Because I know with certain conditions that I have, you want to believe it's everything but cancer. You know what I'm saying? So how dare she say that? I really don't approve of that. That's awful. And how is that nickname made off of your laziness? I'm really confused as that. But people also get sent home all the time being told they have kidney stones or a bladder infection or this or that. And it's way worse than that. So
shame, anxiety. Some of us then begin to believe, like, okay, maybe actually these symptoms are normal, or actually it's really not that big of a deal. I did go to the doctor. I actually went to the ER a few times. And every single time I went, they told me I had all this blood and I had the pain in my back and it was due to a UTI or it was due to a bladder infection and all of these things. But that wasn't the case. Should I have gone to a gynecologist sooner? Sure. Does that make me lazy? Fuck no. Does that make anyone else who has also had uterine cancer and they waited a really long time to be seen until they were diagnosed, does that make them lazy? No. Do they deserve to have a nickname like that? No.
Because you knew that, oh well, someone else will just come and clean up this mess for me.
no.
Clean up this mess?
And
No.
when I say that you expected everyone to clean things up around you, you know exactly what I mean.
If you're talking about my blood, I made sure that was nowhere. There was blood nowhere. Did you guys?
At first, I thought you may be taking things a little bit too literal, but now I'm starting to understand a little that she is saying that you got blood everywhere and that people had to clean up behind you. I never heard anybody say that. So let's continue.
Remember that mattress I was out in the living room? That was one of the reasons I was in the living room, because I was scared to get blood anywhere. I never got it anywhere. If I wasn't wearing a pad, I was wearing a rag. I was very anal about that because it was embarrassing. Like I was always
right, exactly.
Sometimes it was heavier than other times, but it was genuinely an awful experience and it was very embarrassing. I never made Beck do it. Who else was it? Oh, are you talking about my roommates because I had roommates? Hell no, they're so embarrassing. That was two guys. Like, are you joking? I handled all of that by myself. Just because I was having all these symptoms, it didn't make me a selfish or disrespectful person. I wasn't going to sit there and make a mess. Like what? The fact that you're even insinuating that is hectic. And that's for lack of a better word.
You're the one who said you had to use rags instead of using feminine products. But who washed those rags, Amber? Who
Me. What?
changed those rags, Amber?
Me? What is happening?
Amberlynn.
You're calling rag and bleed because you're assuming that Beck washed my rags. I genuinely think this person needs help. Like, more help than me. Like, I need help, but so do you. What?
Amber, who probably had to scrub those rags out in the sink.
No one scrubbed a rag in a sink because of my...
I have to fully agree with you, Amberlynn. The only time that I ever heard of someone having to clean rags, if they ever did, I don't know. That's alleged. That's just what they say. I don't know if it's true, Amber. I'm just saying. I know that Beck said that you used all of either Eric or Ricky's late mother's washcloths, wiping your butt on the side of the sink with that rag or with the rags and then throwing them in the garbage. And so then when they asked about it, you got embarrassed and then you like bought new rags or something like along those lines. But it was about wiping yourself after pooping, not about your blood. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Whenever I say poop, I laugh. Excuse me. It's one of my things I got going on. Anyways, so yeah, this is crazy. I'm sorry, Amberlynn.
Just fine, but
It was nobody.
them having to do it day after day,
It was nobody.
week after week, month after month, year after year. You intentionally did not go to the doctor
I didn't intentionally not go to the doctor.
for that.
How do they
You
know?
had to go to the ER for cellulitis.
Yes, because cellulitis is an infection that if it gets in your blood, you can die. So yeah, I did go to the ER for that. So I can be on antibiotics.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Away. So I'm sorry.
or the time that you needed stitches.
Excuse me, bitch,
Yes, I didn't
salty
stop
crud.
before, but yes, I needed stitches. I'm sorry. I
Listen
saw myself
here,
in
you're gonna
the
have some beef with me too, because I got a lot of the same shit going on that she does, and if you don't understand something, don't talk about it.
I don't expect anything less, anything more from you.
And no problems going to the ER. But in this situation, you decided to ignore it. You even admitted that you took an online quiz to see.
If you don't have some kind of factual fucking shit to back you up, then stop talking about some stuff you don't know about, bitch. Because let me tell you something. If she lets that go, that can get into her blood, cause her to become septic, goes to her heart, and kill her.
Yeah, out of fear. And I also kept lying to myself because my whole life, like even in high school, I had irregular periods. Doctors always told me it was because of my weight. Like when you're really overweight and when you're really underweight, your periods are very irregular. So I did keep lying to myself. I was like, this is happening because of your weight. So the more I lied to myself, the more I made it seem like, oh, it's just because of my weight. So it still doesn't give you the right to make fun of the situation.
And when you did finally go to the doctor, you took pictures of your underwear and the crotch of your pants.
I did. Actually, it was Beck who took those pictures. We were absolutely shocked with how much blood I was losing. Like,
right, exactly. This person needs to stop.
That was only the beginning.
Block them, Amber. Why is it anything to you, bitch? Exactly. That too. That part, bitch. I used to kind of like your channel. Now, done. Ooh. And did you look at him? You didn't have to. Sorry, Amberlynn. I don't mean to talk over you. I was just getting mad. Because this bitch has got me fucking mad. You know, I might not agree with everything you say or do. But, like a big sister, I'll call you out when I think you're wrong. But also like a big sister, I will act protective over you. And I want to be someone as like a friend, basically. You know? And that's one thing I don't stand for. I will stick up for people.
Like the pictures that we did take, because then it got worse and worse. At that point, I was having to be rushed into an emergency DNC. I was losing so much blood that like I could have died. Yes, Beck had their phone and they were taking pictures because it was genuinely so shocking. And I remember Beck was texting my mom and like keeping my mom updated. And during that, Beck sent those photos to my mom because it's like when you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, Amberlynn is like gushing blood. You know, you imagine something, but you don't imagine like how bad it actually was.
And the floor and all the blood everywhere, and you put them on Snapchat for your viewers to see.
Yes, I did put them on Snapchat. So this
it's to say how bad it is.
I cannot believe that people think I am lying about cancer. And it was quite a few people. Like when Avocado uploaded that video insinuating that I lied about cancer, like I was being harassed.
That's bullshit.
And, like it made my mental health so bad. I ended up filming a whole video, like bawling my eyes out. Like I showed my actual medical paperwork, which was really embarrassing.
Right.
In that same like impulsive state of mind, I ended up posting those pictures on Snapchat as a way to be like, I did go through this. This is exactly what happened to me. Do I regret doing that? No. But it is very pathetic that I even had to do that, that it actually got to that level, that I had to show something so private. It honestly feels demeaning.
Right.
And this person right here is like making fun of me because I did that. That's really, really sad.
But you have a problem with me making a silly joke using the word bleed?
They don't have anything to do with
It's not a silly joke, bitch.
Also come out that you ruin people's personal items.
Because what?
Because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items.
And how would you know?
Nothing.
Salty bitch.
Zero. Zippo. Nada.
You made your ex drag a mattress in and out of the living room for you to sit on it so you wouldn't make a mess.
That is actually the truth. I would have done it for Beck. When you're in a
Exactly.
relationship, you think that you love the person. It's supposed to be a safe, comforting, caring environment. Think for 2 seconds.
Right, I agree totally. When you're in a fucking relationship, like if Chris found out he had cancer, I would do everything and anything the man needed me to do to make sure that he was comfortable and do, you know, what the fuck? Like, yes, in relationships, you do things for your spouse that another person might be like, oh, I wouldn't do that for anybody. Well, I love the person, so I would. You know? The fuck?
Sure, you would have dragged the mattress into the living room as well if you wanted to hang out with your partner and you knew.
I'm about to go crab fishing, salty bitch.
My bleeding, I think they're imagining like Carrie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It wasn't like that until I was rushed to the ER. Then it was very much like that. But on an everyday basis, it wasn't like that. It did not get blood anywhere.
No.
So why you're making fun of my cancer? Let's keep going with your excuse, because still, I don't get it.
And did you do anything about that? Did you try and get it looked at for at least 2 years?
Like I said, I went to the ER for it, and I went to the doctor, and they sent me home with a UTI and antibiotics.
No, because you thought, well, someone else will clean it up. I don't feel like
No one cleaned up anything. There was nothing to clean up.
going. But somehow that's my fault for using a word, for saying the word bleed.
You are so dense. If you actually think
You are.
that I'm upset because you used a word, you're making fun of me. You're making fun of an experience that ultimately.
Right. And Amberlynn, no tea, no shade. I used it in my last video about you, and I love the phrase. I mean, you're just, you know what? You're going to be called from now on to be salty crab, crusty crab. You know why? Because you're a bitch.
For my whole life.
Really? And before you fix your mouth to call me an ableist again,
You are.
and try and say that your medical issues were due to your size,
They are.
you sure had no problem getting to Lexington.
What? During that era of my life, I went to Lexington maybe once. I'm finding it hard to understand, like, what that has to do with you making fun of my cancer. Like, you're reaching so far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm down, please.
7 times to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So how was there a problem getting to the doctor? Maybe if the gynecologist would have served orange chicken, you would have gotten checked out sooner. But
There it is. You're ableist, girl. Just admit it. You're fatphobic. You're biased. You lack empathy and sympathy. And you can't admit when you're wrong.
that's all you're getting from me, Amber. Now.
Rules for me, but not for thee.
All right. Wow. The video was insane. I had no idea that Krusty Krab was talking like that about Amberlynn. That's not okay. That's not okay. And there's a lot of shit that you just should not be speaking about unless you fucking have been there or you know. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You owe Amberlynn an apology for that. Bottom fucking line. But anyways, guys, go check out my second channel. It's my vlog channel. Like I said, I'm posting, or I haven't posted on there yet. Tomorrow, though, I got it almost ready for you guys. First video on the vlog channel. Oh, yeah. Link in the description, you assholes. And just wanted to say, if you haven't yet, become a member. Because Wednesday nights, well, supposed to be Wednesday nights, I go live for my members. But I'm sorry, I don't do that often, okay? Well, actually, I'm kind of sickly, so sometimes. But I don't try to do it often. Anyways, I love you guys. And if you vibed, why don't you subscribe? Love you.